They say motherhood is a journey, but let's be honest, sometimes it feels more like a roller coaster with no seatbelt. I bet you're like me, wondering why babies, or teens in my case, don't come with instruction manuals. Welcome to This Incredible Mom Life, the podcast that celebrates the beautiful chaos, quiet wins, messy moments, and everyday miracles of being a mom. I'm your host, Dummy, wellness coach, mom of 3 boys, and a passionate believer that you don't have to live at the mercy of PMS, burnout, or exhaustion. Join me every week as we hear the craziest and most unbelievable mom stories. I'll be sharing the huge accomplishments and triumphs of both our moms and their kids. We'll giggle, cheer on the kids, and discuss obstacles and lessons learned along the way. If you are struggling to be the best mom you can be, how open-minded are you to booking a free call with me? You don't have to live at the mercy of your cycle, and you definitely don't have to do it alone. Give yourself permission to let me be part of your support system. I believe that you weren't meant to just survive motherhood. You were meant to thrive in it. On this show, we redefine what a supermom really means, and today's guest is the perfect example. Martina Pezzino is a certified nutrition consultant, holistic health coach, and ritual facilitator who specializes in women's health and hormones. Martina is on a mission to bring women back to their bodies and to help moms unlock a toddler-level energy to actually thrive in motherhood, using functional nutrition, nervous system healing, and cycle wisdom. Martina is the founder of Luia Wellness and is the head nutrition witch inside of Thrive Mama, the holistic health collective for busy, intuitive moms to break out of survival mode and actually thrive in motherhood. I love that. Thank you, Martina, for taking time out of your day to be here with me.
Thanks for having me. I'm so excited.
Yeah, I love it because I always talk about how a lot of moms are just surviving through each day. And once you learn that you can thrive, it's like a whole new world.
It really is.
So today's conversation will be fun. But let's start with you. Tell us who you are a mom to.
Yeah, I'm a mom of 2 girls, Luna and Aria, which, fun fact, is where Luia comes from, my business
Nice.
name. And they are currently 3 and almost 6.
Nice. All right. Well, share a mom story.
Yeah, when I think about a mom story, I was really reflecting back on my own burnout spirals, which really was like the first 2 years of motherhood for me. I was already a nutrition coach and I had my health in like where I thought was a great baseline. And then motherhood hit like a freaking train. And it was just 2 years of running on convenience foods and cortisol and like sheer just willpower to get through the day. And I knew all the things to do, but like couldn't do them, you know? So I eventually hit this breaking point when my second was about 6 months old and realized like no one was getting the best version of me. I was exhausted, I was irritated, I was like just counting down minutes to zone out on my phone because it was just so tapped out. So I came back to like shifting things, in small ways, like really getting back to eating a real breakfast, getting back into like sunlight, getting back into daily rhythms that could keep me supported. And I remember clearly a few months into this like healing journey, there was this random Tuesday evening. It was nothing special. Like we had swim lessons. I was trying to cook dinner. The kids were melting down. They were like 2 and a few months old at this point. There was just mess everywhere. And I had this moment where instead of shutting down and snapping and just feeling the weight of it all, I was like laughing with them. I was like, this is chaos. And I remember turning on music and we like danced around the kitchen together. And later that night, I was reflecting with my partner and was like, that was really different than I was, how I was operating. We got home from swim lessons and I like played tag with them before bed, right? It's like, wait, this is what's possible when we have the inner resources to show up for the huge demands of motherhood and just really clicked something for me about the power of our bodies and this work.
Yeah. And I had a similar experience. So, as a healthcare provider, I thought I was eating healthy. I thought I was exercising, right? I did all the prenatal yoga and the organic baby foods when they were little and all these things. And it turns out I was eating too many salads and not enough nutrients. Like, they were just empty calories. And then I was exercising too much. So I felt the same. I was always exhausted, stressed out. Um, and you were sharing your story, and I just had this thought. I had, when my kids were little, they must have been like whatever, 1 and 3 or something too, little-ish. We had spaghetti for dinner, and I don't know why. For some reason, they picked one up and like put it on their head or something. And then one became like two, and then two became the whole bowl was actually on his head. And I was like, I don't even, can I yell at this, or should I just laugh and go with it and just like throw them in the bath afterwards? Um, but yeah, that's what I did. I did not yell at them. I've yelled at
Yeah.
them for other things, but at that one moment, I was just like, whatever, dump the spaghetti on your head. You're going in the bath right after this
Yeah.
anyway.
But when our body's in survival mode, everything feels like an attack, like a
Yeah.
threat. Like we can't handle a mess. We can't handle being late. We just have no buffer
Yeah.
to actually be in the flow of what real messy life is. So I'm just so grateful for the capacity now to not be in survival mode all the time.
Yes, me too. I love that feeling. Um, was that like a turning point for you, or is that just one moment of joy that you found in the day?
Yeah, that was one real moment I remember that then just really solidified for me like, oh, this matters. My body's not this like inconvenience that I know I should be taking care of. It's actually the key to enjoying this whole ride. And that was the first day I really felt the impact of all the little shifts I'd been doing in such a drastic way. So I just always remember that moment of like, oh, no, this works. This really is powerful. And this is how I want to mother from here on out.
Nice. I love that. So let's switch over. Tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Yeah. So, as Amy shared, I'm a functional nutrition consultant and a holistic health coach, and I really specialize in those on their motherhood journey. So, I have a lot of experience in the fertility and prenatal support world using functional nutrition to support our hormones and really support healthy conception and pregnancies. And now a lot of my work focuses on those in the trenches, as I say, who maybe our kids are a few months, years, maybe they're teenagers, and we're just like really ready to feel more like ourselves and to have the inner resources to show up in our life the way we want. And using our body is a key to that. So I love to weave in cycle wisdom and I weave in ritual and ceremony, tarot readings, all kinds of fun, energetic supports into the work. And I'm just so passionate about getting moms in this thriving space that you and I both get to live in.
Yes, that's amazing. Um, and I know today we're going to talk about motherhood, but let's start with, for the lady who is considering getting pregnant for the first time, right? You're not yet pregnant, you don't have any other kids, you have the time, you have the so talk about, healthy habits from preconception through pregnancy, and then we'll get into the more fun stuff. But right now, like, as a first time pregnant mom, you don't have the worries of taking care of other kids, right? You don't have toddlers throwing a tantrum. You don't have all these other things. So tell us about those healthy habits first.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think one piece of preconception that's really important to keep in mind is that if we have been on any kind of hormonal birth control up until now, it's really important to just really mindfully create some bridges of support into trying to conceive. I think there's still a lot of misinformation in a lot of doctors' offices that we just stop taking the pill when we're ready to try, or we take our IUD out right when we want to get pregnant. And the reality is, for some women, that absolutely happens. And for many women, shifting off of birth control is a huge hormonal like recalibration. And I've seen over and over this like post birth control syndrome where our periods disappear, where we get crazy symptoms in our bodies we never got before. It all depends on the hormonal landscape that was present before birth control and during and after. So, really giving yourself time to support your healthy cycles returning, getting to know your ovulation patterns. And those hormonal birth control methods almost all cause mineral depletion, nutrient
Yep.
depletion in a really big way. And a lot of those nutrients are critical for a healthy pregnancy and like really laying the foundation for healthy life for baby. So I always encourage folks to work with a practitioner who can help close some of those nutrient gaps, right? Eating plenty of like B vitamins, lots of rich animal meats and pumpkin seeds, all kinds of nuts and seeds really will be supportive for transitioning off of birth control. All of those leafy green vegetables, but really working with a practitioner to close the gap because for most of us, it's not as simple as stop taking birth control and then we have a healthy pregnancy. For some, it is. But I know for all those listening, we want to be really intentional to get ourselves and baby everything we need. And I think that's an important conversation to have.
Yeah, for sure. Take care of yourself and your hormones because I see that too.
Yeah.
If you've been on birth control for many, many years, when you go off of it, you can have these nutrient depletions, deficiencies. You can have hair loss. You can have dry skin. You can have all kinds of changes in your monthly cycles, PMS symptoms. So that is amazing. Talk a little bit about health and healthy eating through pregnancy.
Yeah, absolutely. So, pregnancy is such a magical time and also incredibly difficult. I had really difficult pregnancies, so I just have all the empathy for the food aversions and the nausea. Like, again, I knew all the things. I was literally a nutritionist at a birth center. So, I saw pregnant women all day long. I was pregnant, and doing the things was really hard because of these just barriers in physiology with what my body was willing to take in. So I just want to say first, that's super normal. And you might hear me talking and be like, great, but I can barely get like a saltine to stay down. So if that's the case, again, seek some support. You don't have to navigate that by yourself. There's lots of ways we can work with that. But with prenatal nutrition, we hear so much about protein being so critical for baby's development, for the placenta, for mom's blood pressure, stability, all these things. I'm also really passionate about educating on the microbiome during pregnancy. So, baby's microbiome is being built alongside of yours. And it's actually it's like a copy paste of your microbiome. So, it's like you create the foundation for baby. And we know that the microbiome impacts all elements of human health, brain health and immune health, our hormones, digestion, of course, all sorts of things. So, giving baby this little boost as they start life is really such a gift. So, getting yourself as many colorful fruits and veggies as you can stand, eating fermented foods regularly, perhaps getting a high quality probiotic, and then when vaginal birth is possible, allowing that to be another boost for baby's microbiome. I always encourage postpartum, if we're not breastfeeding for whatever reason, we can actually still support the microbiome through probiotic drops for baby and continue to grow the microbiome that way. But even while they're in your body, the healthier your microbiome is, the more vibrant baby's health is going to be. And so that's just a piece that I always love focusing on with folks.
Nice. And I love that. That's a new angle that I haven't heard before in
Yeah, we all
pregnancy
talk
and
about protein, which is so important. I'm here for protein all day, but most of us have heard it, right? So let's
yeah,
really nourish the microbiome while we're also boosting all the amino acids
I
we need.
love that. I love that. And we're supposed to eat the rainbow, right? Like you
Yes,
mentioned, all your
ma'am.
fruits and vegetables. Eat the rainbow. All right. So how do the nutrition requirements change now when you're breastfeeding?
Yeah, most of us really underestimate how much nourishment we need postpartum. In fact, breastfeeding mamas actually need more calories straight up than even when you were pregnant. So just really let that sink in. Like most of us have the baby and then we sort of like disconnect from what I eat, it impacts them. But in order to both feed yourself and create food for another human, you need a lot of nourishment and a lot of hydration. So, what I always tell our postpartum mamas is eat more than you think you need. Like, if you're hungry, honor it. I don't care if you just had a meal 20 minutes ago, like, eat again.
Eat
Your
again.
job is to feed baby. Your partner's job is to feed you. So, that is what they are doing around the clock. and really getting in plenty of healthy fats. Omega-3s are wonderful for our breast milk balance. So getting in if fatty fish is possible, chia seeds, leafy greens, flaxseed, things like that. And then hydration, mineral depletion is really common after birth based on the needs of pregnancy. And so hydrating not just with water, but also electrolytes, adding mineral drops to your water can really help with breast milk supply, but also your own energy, right? Like your body's going to prioritize baby's food over you feeling good. And so it's really common that we are getting bare minimums. It goes to baby and we're left with these like scraps of energy left over. We deserve to still feel alive in our body through our breastfeeding journey. So eating enough, plenty of omega-3s, and plenty of hydration and minerals are a great place to start.
Awesome. Love it. Yes, totally agree with all of that. Have you heard the story of flamingos?
With getting their pink back,
Yeah.
I love it so much. Yeah.
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, when a flamingo is not pink naturally, it becomes pink from the diet and the shrimp and stuff that it eats. And when a flamingo is nursing their young, they turn a pale gray color,
Mhm.
um, because their own body is not getting enough nourishment. And I know so many moms can probably relate to that. So I always say it's like getting your pink back.
Yeah.
Right. So I love that. And now let's talk about the challenges of eating when you have maybe two or three kids running around
Mm.
at home.
Yeah. Gosh, this was something I saw in my years at the birth center that really sparked me on this journey. Was these first-time moms would come in, they'd be so excited and determined to like have the healthiest pregnancy possible. They would do all the things I would tell them to do. They'd come back the next appointment and they'd have done them all. And then these moms could come in with these toddlers hanging onto their hips and bags under their eyes, and they're just as determined. They're just as passionate about having a healthy pregnancy. But there was a gap in knowing and doing. And I got really curious about this. Like, where is the gap here? Why is it that our second, third, fourth pregnancies, we like start deprioritizing the things we know we need? And now, as a mom of two little littles myself, I can feel it day in and day out, right? We put our needs last. Our own food is often an afterthought. Like we feed our kids and then we're getting their water, we're cleaning up after the meal, we're like eating scraps. Or when we are eating, it's convenience. It's like, how quick and easy
Yeah.
can I do this? Because we don't take up space. This ultimately, like we could go on a long rant about the patriarchy and conditioning around motherhood, but ultimately it's just a matter of prioritizing everyone else over you. Most of my clients know a bunch of things to do. It's really the subconscious programming that's putting our own needs last. So I love working with folks on really practical pieces. Like, yes, we can, use frozen veggies to add to the soup. Like, yes, you can keep an extra water bottle in your car. Like, we can hack it, but also we have to do this inner work that has told us that our needs don't matter. Because the truth is, if we are depleted and running on empty, everybody gets to feel that, right?
Yeah.
Like us being resource does benefit everybody and is what we deserve and what our families deserve. So that inner work is a really important part of the nourishment journey. Like a meal plan is not gonna cut it, right? We have to come back into our like self-worth as women and as moms.
Yeah. The challenge I had, so I had three kids under four. I was busy. I was a stay-at-home mom and I wanted them to eat all their fruits and vegetables. I was doing like the sneaky chef kind of stuff where you steam and puree the veggies and put it in the marinara sauce and the mac and cheese
Yeah.
and this and that. And then I realized like, if I'm making whatever vegetables or, serving fruit for my kids, why am I not eating the same thing?
Yeah.
And I just wasn't eating it. Like it was sitting right in front of me. I'm like, just chop an extra apple and eat some yourself, right? You're giving it to the kids already.
It's
So that was the
so
learning
common.
point.
I
Yeah. And
call
it was
this
a
my
learning
berry
point.
rule. I have a rule with folks because how many of us buy berries because our toddlers love them and then we never eat them because they're expensive and our toddler can eat it all in one go and we just don't eat them. This
Yes.
is an outward like reflection of prioritizing others. If you love the berries, eat the damn berries. I have a
Yeah.
berry rule that if you buy the berries, you get some too. And I think that's a really important mental shift that we make.
Yeah. I mean, we're so into, okay, I need to feed my baby, healthy foods and make sure they're moving and this and that. And then when it comes to us, like make sure the baby's sleeping, right? All of these things. And then when it comes to us, we're like, yeah, it's fine. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yes, it does matter. Take care of yourself. So now I always, if I'm serving whatever fruit and vegetable, I'm having some too on the side.
Yeah.
So that definitely helps. And my kids are older now, so now I tell them, I'm like, listen, the pasta we eat at home is much better for you than the pasta we eat when we're out, or like
Yeah.
the homemade muffins. And so they're starting to understand that.
Yeah.
Um,
The
also,
other thing I see that can be really challenging is when we have a different value around health than our family does, right? Like sometimes mom is the one who really cares and knows it is important. And then we're met with really picky kids, really picky partners. Sometimes the partners are even worse than the kids. And then we are kind of this like lone wolf trying to take care of ourselves, but they're only eating these certain foods. So I always encourage moms, especially if you're on your own sort of healing journey, like you're really trying to recalibrate after years of not feeling good in your body, give yourself permission to actually just take care of you. Like zoom your sphere of control back into yourself. We all want our kids to eat healthy, for sure. We all want our partners to live forever and like stop with the soda or whatever. And we can't control other people. Right. And it actually is a huge energy drain when you have to wait for other people to get on board for you to take care of yourself. So give yourself permission. If you like the salmon, it doesn't matter if no one else will eat it. It is worth it for you to cook it, put it on the table. Like they get to choose what they put into their bodies, but stop lowering your bar of health to match like the lowest common denominator in the house.
yes.
Because I see it all the time, right? Well,
Yep.
they won't eat that and they won't. I like quinoa, but they won't eat quinoa. It's like cook the damn quinoa.
Yeah.
And we have systems with we have pretty picky toddlers and we have ways to make sure they still get food in, but we're holding a bar of health that doesn't lower to like their level of what they will eat or not eat.
Oh, yes. And I'm guilty of that too. So it
We
is
all
very
do it.
common.
Yeah, we all do it.
um, so I know all these moms are struggling. They think it's so hard. But you and I know that when you learn to do some cyclical living, it's not as hard as it should be. So talk a little bit about what is cyclical living and how it helps.
Oh my gosh, yes. So I think all four phases of our cycle hold deep medicine and support. And I also think it's easy to overcomplicate it. So, just for the sake of this conversation, I'm just going to talk about the first half of the cycle and the second half of the cycle because I think we can mentally split it in half and just feel into some supports for both. Because the truth is, cyclical living is just honoring the fact that we're not the same every day, that our brain matter shifts like up to 20% at different types of our cycle. Our metabolism changes, our digestion changes, our insulin sensitivity. Like we're not the same operating system. So when we try to act like a robot or like a man and just like do the same thing every day, we end up with gaps. We end up with areas of depletion. We end up burning out. So I love to think about first half of the cycle and second half of the cycle. First half, you can just think about like our metabolism is actually a little bit slower and our digestion is running a bit higher. It's almost like the furnace inside is like turned up just a little bit. And we really thrive in the first half of our cycle on lighter foods, more energizing, water dense, like smoothies and salads and fresh juice. Like those things might feel great, right? We would thrive on more intense exercise. We would thrive on more active like activities, right? Social time in the first part of our cycle. And then most of us can feel a shift, you know, around like a few days after ovulation, we start to feel a gradual retreat, a gradual slowdown where progesterone takes over the show. And the second half of the cycle, we can flip our focus to more warming foods, more protein dense foods, easier on the digestion because the digestion is really slowed down. So, to avoid all that pre period bloating, stop it with the salads, stop it with the cold smoothies. Like, go for cooked vegetables, go for whole grains and proteins, like the kind of food you'd want in the fall and winter time, like really soaking those up. And give yourself tons of space to go to bed early and to like take a phone free day and to like you need more energetic boundaries, you need more rest. So when we think about just sort of these two halves of our month, we can really feel as we move through the first half, that flavor kind of gets more and more heightened and heightened as we reach ovulation. And then it's like a mix in the middle, and then it gets more and more intensely internal as we reach our bleed. And so that cycle really gets to guide not just our plate, but also our calendar, which I think is really important.
Yes, I absolutely agree. And that's what I teach women too. And it makes such a difference, right?
Such a difference.
That I think is what got me from surviving each day to thriving in life.
Truly.
And it was just simple little things like, am I having a salad today or soup today? Like what you said, right? It's not a huge life overhaul. It's, am I doing cardio today or am I doing strength training or yoga, right? Like it's very easy, simple shifts that you can do if you have multiple little kids at home and this and that, because we've both done it. So it's proof that it can be done.
It's possible.
Now, for women who might be having a question about this, you have a membership for the Thrive Mama membership. So talk about that.
I do. So Thrive Mama is a space that is, it's sort of like a functional health program meets like a witchy community. It's just beautiful in there. So we have all kinds of curriculum and resources, and we also have live coaching and community events. So you're not trying to figure it out alone, and you also are moving at your own pace to pull in the threads of support that you need. And it's just such a magical journey. So I did give Amy a code to get all of our listeners 2 weeks of a free trial. So if you just want to come in and hang out for a couple weeks, poke around, flirt a little, like just connect, we would love to connect with you in there. That is the main way that I support folks these days.
Awesome. So I will put that in the description box below. And if people want to connect with you on social media, where can they find you?
Yeah, I am at Luia Wellness, Luia Wellness. And you can also find me at www.luiawellness.com.
Nice. And again, I'll put all the links below. I think this conversation was full of lots of little tips and golden nuggets for all the moms, whether you're considering getting pregnant, being pregnant, or in the throes of having lots of kids around. So definitely reach out to Martina if you need more help or support. This was so fun. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it was great. And in closing, motherhood isn't meant to shrink you. It's meant to strengthen you. So take what resonated today, apply one small shift, and keep building the life you want your kids to witness. I'll see you back next week on another episode.
Are you struggling to be the best mom you can be? Are you fatigued, overwhelmed, and stressed out? Are you losing precious time with your family because of PMS? If so, sign up for my free gift on how to start living in tune with your monthly cycle. The link to get it is in the show notes below. Use this guide to help you start to eliminate your symptoms of PMS, increase your energy, reduce stress, and fully enjoy this incredible mom life. The way I see it, you have 3 choices. You can try to figure it all out on your own. You can do nothing and stay where you are, or you can get the customized guidance you need to thrive as a mom. The choice is yours. Thanks for listening to today's episode. I hope you learned something from these stories. If you enjoyed this show, please make sure to subscribe, rate, review, and share this podcast. It really helps this show grow. If you have a mom story you would like to share, click on the link in the description below on becoming a podcast guest. Remember, the content on this podcast is for general information only. It does not replace any medical advice given by your healthcare providers. Please check with your doctor if you have any questions about your specific condition and before starting any new diet or exercise regimen. Thank you, and you will hear from me soon.